When people think about signs from the other side and interpreting them, a lot of times they think something really dramatic is going to happen. And in this video, what I'm wanting to share is that initially things can feel really subtle. It's really important, especially as empaths, that we trust our body signals and what you're feeling. So a lot of times we're expecting something big and visual, or we're expecting to hear something, or claps of thunder or something like that. But those things do happen, and we do see visual signs in the forms of what you're probably used to thinking about in terms of receiving signs, like repeating numbers or feathers or animals or electricity happening. That kind of stuff does absolutely constitute a sign. But the thing is, I wanted to back up before that and really talk about how it feels in your body when you receive a sign, because this is kind of the most exciting part, is that you feel it. And a lot of times it'll feel like chills. You may get emotional out of nowhere. You may feel tingling, or you might feel this rush of energy, or you might feel warm suddenly out of nowhere, or you might feel cold suddenly out of nowhere. So be really aware of how your body feels somatically, especially when you start communicating with the other side. If you're an empath who's navigating fear, loss, grief, or big life transitions, and you're wanting to connect with your loved ones on the other side so that you can trust yourself and your intuition and feel more ease, clarity, and confidence, I invite you to book a free consultation with me. The link is in the description to see if working together is a good fit. Now, on that note, it's really important to do what I like to call picking up the spiritual phone, because that's like we pick up the phone and we talk to our loved ones on the other side and we ask for help. What really works the best is if we ask for something they were particularly adept at when they were in the physical. So, for example, I have a kayaking friend of mine who's on the other side, and I always ask him to come kayaking with me and to help me specifically when it comes to running the harder rapids. Now, when he first crossed over, I used to never go kayaking by myself, and then I started asking him to go with me, and then I started kayaking alone. But the thing of it is I never felt alone. Like, I always felt his presence there. And I felt this sense of calm and even maybe confidence, whereas before I would just be in my head and feeling fearful. When I would ask him to come kayaking with me, that would go away. So that's another way to determine or sense that your loved ones are there. It's like you have a shift from one sense of feeling to another, like being fearful and then suddenly you're not fearful, stuff like that. So the two really main ways you're going to know and be able to interpret these signs is how you feel in your body, and then when you feel a shift. Maybe it's you were feeling really sad and full of grief, and now you feel less sad and less full of grief. So those kind of internal shifts are really important to start paying attention to. And then we can move into the obvious signs, or the more obvious signs, such as animals appearing or birds, that kind of thing. And for me, like the other day, I was meditating and asking for help from my team on the other side, and suddenly there was a hummingbird, and that for me is the sign of my grandmother. Or the other day I was doing my yoga practice and communicating with my loved ones on the other side, and then out of the window I saw a double rainbow, And so rainbows can be another really amazing sign from our loved ones on the other side. And then another example I have is like, I really love peacocks. Like for me, they're really auspicious. And the other day, I again was going kayaking and I saw 2 peacocks in the parking lot. Like, what the heck? I mean, that just doesn't happen. So these signs are really important to take note of, and not to say or interpret them in like, okay, what are they saying specifically? A lot of times it's more they're offering support, okay? Or they're saying, you can do it. We're here. We're with you. You're not alone. That's why it's so important to really take notice of any internal shifts that you're feeling within yourself after you have one of those signs happen. It can be really common for us to get into the mind and want things to be really spelled out, but it's really important to learn how to trust that these signals and these signs somatically really are your loved ones communicating with you, and then to continue the conversation so that when they do appear in the form of money or repeating numbers or animals or birds, like one of my friends shows up as a bald eagle, or like my grandmother is a hummingbird, my other grandmother is a butterfly. When I see butterflies, it's her energy. So that's the other thing, is you're gonna get a felt sense of that person, or maybe it's like a joke that you used to have together, or just a sense of that person's energy being there alongside with you. So the way to really interpret these signs in a grounded way is, number one, to check in with yourself and your body and ask yourself, how am I feeling? Has anything shifted from before I asked for help until after I asked for help? The next way is to notice the timing. So did you ask for help and then suddenly your fear went away? Or like one example I have that is pretty amazing is about 10 years ago, I was hiking on the Colorado Trail, through hiking, and I'd already hiked maybe like 300 miles or something really far, and it was pouring down rain and I was soaking wet and I was really over it and really didn't know how I was going to get the motivation to keep going. And so I was asking my team for help, and then suddenly on my phone, a song came on that really reminds me of a friend on the other side. And then this little bird started walking right in front of me for about 20 minutes. I'm not kidding. And then afterwards, I felt different. I felt more motivated. I felt like I wasn't alone, and I knew I could finish. So that's what I mean. It's like from before to after, you have this shift in how you feel. If you're an empath who's navigating loss, grief, or big life transitions, and you're really wanting to learn how to connect with your loved ones on the other side so you can trust yourself and your intuition, I invite you to book a free clarity call with me. The link is in the description, and we can explore if working together is a good fit. Thank you so much for watching, and we'll see you in the next video.